everyone, it's Jazz. This is Giving Up the Ghost podcast. Thanks for coming back. This week's episode is part 2 from October 29th, which was our Halloween episode, Spirits with Spirits, and co-hosted with the lovely and talented Ashley and Kelly from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group, and our guest was Chris Rutkowski. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming out. You made our night. It was a perfect night. The second half is the open mic part, and Chris was gracious enough to stick around, tell some more stories. Love talking to him, love hearing his stories, because, man, he has got, like, decades. Not trying to make you sound old or anything, but you've got so much knowledge with respects to not just UFOs and aliens, but also with the paranormal world here in Winnipeg. So enjoy this week's episode. I'm really doing a lot of cleanup towards the year end, trying to get some more out. Might have 2 per week. I know I've said it before, but I'm really hoping to get that out. With respects to upcoming items, the last thing on our paranormal calendar will be the Fantastical Market. Follow our socials for more information. That will be December 13th. Come on out, tell us a ghost story. We will be beside, with respects to tables, with Ashley and Kelly from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. Come by, buy some really cool, funky swag. Not your granny's market, that's for sure. So a lot of really cool stuff. Cher, I'm hoping to stronghold her into coming out. We will be having some of her stuff up for sale as well, because she is a fabulous artist. And crafts galore. Again, not your grandma's market, but in any event, thank you for all your support. Check out tonight's episode. If you have any ghost stories, remember to email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. And remember to live every day like it is your last, but never give up the ghost. Ciao for now. Take the seats. Oh. Getting old, Chris. Oh.
No, not you.
Yes, afraid so. Does anybody want to put their name down to tell some stories? Does anybody have any stories to share? You're volunteering your friend there.
I can tell a couple of.
I know. You've got some really awesome stories. All right. Hello. Hey. See how easy that is? Anybody else? Take some liquid courage, tell a story. Had about 33 people. We had about 33 people, not too bad. I did a head count before.
That's
so.
not bad.
Not bad. We've had more, but
Yeah.
it could be so close to Halloween too.
It is,
so.
yeah. And there is a baseball game going on right
Oh, right. Hard to compete against that.
now. Yeah.
I don't even watch baseball, and I've been watching it, so.
Anybody know the score right now?
Anybody know what the score is for the baseball game?
What's the score? Nobody knows?
3-1 Toronto.
3-1 Toronto. Zawing, bada, 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 zawing.
Sorry, I'm going to squeeze past you.
Carly, could you turn the music down? Yep. Thank you. Great. All I see are these strands of like... Kelly.
They're both Kelly, so. So you don't want to come over here?
I just wanted to quickly mention, so if anybody does not know who I am, my name is Jazz. I'm with Giving Up the Ghost podcast. We're Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast. Thank you. 7 years come this January we've been doing it. 221 episodes as of today. We're downloaded in 43 countries, and in July, feedspot.com selected us as Canada's best paranormal podcast. So, thank you. So we're downloaded everywhere. We cover as much as we can regionally, Winnipeg and Manitoba. We don't cover investigations elsewhere. If people want to tell us stories, like that's kind of why we do this. We want to make sure that a lot of these stories don't disappear. The ones that you tell your cousin in a dark little room, the back of the house, make them freak out, all these stories you hear about the haunted house on the corner or the haunted church. We want to try and keep that alive. So we really encourage people to tell us these stories, and we record them. People can download them, share, and the nice thing about when we do Spirits with Spirits here at the King's Head Pub is it's an open environment where there's no judgment. So we have like the second portion of our Spirits with Spirits night, so people can come and tell stories.
I'll judge you, Jazz. It's okay.
You can. But yeah, so that's why we do the second portion of the night in case anybody wants to share a story. And not just for podcast sake, but just, it's very cathartic when a lot of people are always told, no, there's no such thing, you don't know what you're talking about, you're crazy, whether it's religious or families or whatever. It's a nice venue because you are with like-minded people to share collectively your story, and we're all good with it. So we've had our own experiences, and we get it. So that's my spiel. That's what I wanted to say. So we've got Chris. He's going to tell us some more stories. We have the lovely person down at the front there who's put her name down. You want to come tell your story now? Okay. Thank you. Oh, we have free candy because it's Halloween. There's candy down there too. So.
Is that only if you speak?
No.
But we encourage you to speak.
I mean, Hello.
Leave it to Brian.
What is your name?
Hey, so my name is Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And,
Hi, Amanda.
I have, it's weird because I'm on the fence what happened, but I like to tell other people because I'm like, tell me if this is normal. So the story starts, this was probably, 10 years ago. We were in Matlock, and I was dating a girl at the time, and we were at her friend's cabin. We went out onto, if you go to Matlock, they have the docks there where they go way out. Mm-hmm. And so we were out on one of those. We were by ourselves watching the stars, and all of a sudden, and it's so dark, all of a sudden, way on the road, there's a light. I can see a huge figure walking towards us. It's a man. And we're two women in the middle of the night by ourselves. So I'm like, okay, this is unsettling. And I'm watching, and he comes onto the dock, which once you're onto the walkway, only one person at a time can be on it. So I'm like, okay, we're now trapped unless we jump in the water. And he's coming at us, and I'm like, get behind me. And I'm like, hey. And he doesn't say anything, and I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. So he gets almost all the way up to us, and I'm like, hey! And he walks right by us, still doesn't say anything to me, pulls out binoculars, and he goes, have you been seeing anything here? And we're like, what? And he's like, me and my friend have been out here for the past few nights, and we've been seeing stuff in the sky. And I was like, oh, yeah, we have been seeing stuff. I was like, there's a light that's been going back and forth, and we're in Matlock, and I'm like, I'm really bad with space, so I'm like, I think maybe it's at Gimli. The light's going back and forth, and I'm like, it's not a boat. There's a few of them, and two of them went off, and I was like, maybe drones or something? And I was like, I don't know, and he's like, okay. And so now all of us are looking at it, because it never went away. It was just always there. And he's got the binoculars, and he's like, take a look. And so whatever the light is dropping another light out from underneath it, and then that light has a light spinning around it. Oh. And even with the binoculars, it's not like, oh, now I can tell what it is. It's still completely unclear what it is. He's super upset looking at this, and I was like, okay. And then, so a family of 5 comes along, and they seemed super disinterested with what we were doing. I guess we kind of explained it to them, and they kind of looked for a second, and they were out of it, and talking to each other. And so as we're looking at it, trying to figure out why, even with binoculars, it's just light, because it seems like it should just be like a couple of what would you call it, like a bay over, right? Couldn't figure out what it is. And then all of a sudden, the light started getting so bright, and it's almost like it's racing towards us. Now imagine this, we know for a fact with binoculars we can't make out what it is. It's coming closer and closer, and the family stands up. So it's me and the girl I was dating at the time, this guy, and a family of 5, and we're all standing there staring at it, and we're like, we're about to find out what it is. And it's getting closer and closer, and I was like, it's got to be a helicopter, because this is so crazy bright. And I was like, it's coming directly at us, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was like, it's on us. And then all of a sudden it just went, and it went away, and it was never coming at us. I have no idea what it was, and it was right back, by Gimli. Like, if I was to drive that far, like, how far is that you would have to go, that you can't see something with binoculars? It was never coming at us. It wasn't a spotlight getting bigger. It wasn't, I don't know what it was. And so that family is like, whoa. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're leaving. So they left. And the guy's like, and I was like, well, they really don't care. And then the guy's like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought. And he left, and I was like, I don't think I want to be here anymore. And so we left, and we went back to her friend's cabin. And we woke up the next morning, and I was like, we saw this thing. It was like, you couldn't see it with binoculars, and all of a sudden it was coming at us. It filled almost your whole vision coming at us. It was so bright. And he goes, he doesn't even look up from his paper. He goes, yeah, the Army does drills here. And I'm like, drills? What could that have been? That the light drops from the other light? And I was like, I'm trying to think if they're dropping flares onto the water. But then if you're dropping a flare onto the water, why does it have almost like another light attached to it? That I'm like, it couldn't have been dropping flares on the water. So then is it dropping drones? And then what does the drone have? And even if you can explain all of that with the Army, the thing for me is how, and maybe somebody who knows better about how light works, even though I work with light at work, how it got so bright coming towards us like that. It's not like it was a light that intensified. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why I thought it was coming at us, and then just went away, and it was actually still way, way back there. So again, it's unidentified, but if you could explain it to me, I would probably believe that it possibly was the Army doing drills. What do you think?
I've been challenged. Number one, first of all, the Army does actually do that. They do flare drops in that area. So maybe some of that. I don't know all the other parts, whether it's coming towards you. There are little parachute-y things attached to some of the flares. That could explain some of it.
The light coming out of the light, the thing that it was dropping, when I had the binoculars, when he gave them to me, I could see it like it was going around.
Going all over the
place. Somebody was controlling it.
It could have been a drone. I don't know. And how long ago was this?
10 years ago.
Well, probably not a drone then, because there were drones 10 years ago, but they wouldn't have been necessarily doing that. So.
But did the Army have drones?
Yeah, the Army probably had something fairly sophisticated by then. So I don't know. I can't explain it all. If you had reported it, we might have had a record of something like that. But
you know what? That family being so nonchalant, I was like, okay,
yeah,
I don't. And that's the whole thing is when other people don't believe, other people are like, well, I'm not going to say anything, right?
Yeah.
It stops people.
Yeah, that's true.
When people lie about it, how many other reports that maybe we needed to hear don't get told.
Exactly. And there's a stats that says only 1 in 10 Canadians believe they've seen UFOs, but of those, only 1 in 10 have actually reported it. So it's safe to report it here, but would you report it to the RCMP or to?
So I'll just say this quickly, but because this is somebody else's story, but my sister's friend, who I knew very well at the time, reported something over Assiniboine Park.
Okay.
She was very clear about what she saw. The government came to her door. Men in suits came to her door. So it wasn't
cool.
And I just always thought that the government investigates all of these. I was like, because that's the Falcon Lake guy was investigated.
Yeah.
She was investigated. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the government stopped investigating stuff in person like that, as far as I know, about, what is this, 25 years ago. Now, maybe there's another group that's doing it, but as far as I know, they stopped.
That would have been about 25 years ago. Then.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
So,
Woo-hoo!
quick question for you. If she had wanted to report it, or if somebody does experience, how do the general public go about reporting things?
That's a good question. And it turns out that may have an answer soon, because there's a government office called the Office of the Canada's Science Advisor, which is the person who's in charge of that. The director reports directly to the Prime Minister, and they are like the Ministry of Science for all of Canada. And they released a report this July called the Sky Canada Project, in which they made recommendations that there be an office in Canada for places to report UFOs. Hasn't been done yet, but they told Mark Carney, this is what we need. And I guess he's busy, running around Asia or something. I don't know.
The nerve.
But yeah, he's worried about Trump.
How does MUFON fit into all that? Aren't they another reporting agency?
MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, is a private group, a civilian group, and they're not as influential anymore. But they are, one of the largest remaining UFO group around. They publish newsletters and they have a website, and some people do report stuff to them, and but they tend to they don't share the actual data very much anymore.
Okay.
So.
Anybody else have any stories they want to share or want to come up?
Don't make me call names.
I can tell a paranormal story. Oh wait, this guy had a.
No, you can't volunteer other people. You can't voluntold.
Why not? That's not fun.
Well,
Okay, so I have a paranormal story. I'm gonna put
Sweet.
this here for now. No, put this here. Okay, so this goes back to when I was doing some investigations of hauntings and things like that here. There's a fellow who did it with me named Roy Bauer. You work with Roy Bauer?
Years ago, yeah,
At Naylor. That's where, yeah, cool. He's still around. I talked with him about maybe a year ago. But he was really interested in the paranormal stuff. He did things like, how do you test for ESP and things like that? So he actually made a dice rolling machine. And it was kind of like a little ramp. And he had, I forget how many dice, maybe 100 dice at the top, and little chutes and things like that. And he would mentally try and get all sixes or something like that. So they would roll down the chute and he'd mentally try. So he did, and in his estimation, something like 100,000 dice rolls. Multiple dice over multiple times. And he recorded very scientifically how many sixes he got. And statistically, he got more sixes than he should have. And there's a paper there that could be written for scientific journals. But that wasn't enough for him. He wanted to try other, we were ghost hunting, we were going into doing seances, we were investigating homes, that type of thing. But he wanted to do more. So there was a device called the Spiricom. Now you probably have heard of electronic voice phenomena. And some of the Ghostbusters have the machines that they record, and you can get catchphrases and things like that. Well, the Spiricom worked a little differently. It was basically a hula hoop with copper wire that acted as an antenna. And it acted as a microphone to record ambient noise or noise that goes directly onto a tape recorder. And Roy would set the Spiricom up It was designed by a guy named George Meek in the United States. It was tested down there, but he thought he would try the same thing here in Winnipeg. And he would record 3, 4, 5 hours or something like that, and the next day listen to it, listening for phrases, for some voices or something like that. He was very, very dedicated. He did this for years, literally. So at the same time, and I was just talking with the woman here about this, the Hamilton House here in Winnipeg, this fellow Thomas Glendinning Hamilton, he was a prominent physician. He was a member of the Manitoba legislature in the early 1900s. In fact, he was the MLA for Elmwood, if I'm not mistaken, and he was the one who moved for to give women the vote back in like 1910.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was very, very known, very, very well regarded, very scientific. Now his son passed away, and he was very heartbroken about this. So at that time, there was this movement in North America about contacting the dead. Do we survive death? So he thought there must be a scientific way to do this. So in the Hamilton House, which is down on Henderson Highway near the foot of the Disraeli Freeway, he, in one of the upper rooms where they lived, he blocked out all the windows, and he set up a seance table and a bunch of chairs, and on one wall he set up about a dozen or so cameras. Now, this was high tech back in 1910, 1915. This was, imagine, George Lucas level of technology. And he had them all remote controlled, so that he was, as he was sitting around the seance table, if he wanted to take an image, he would press a button and all the cameras, the flash bulbs would go off simultaneously. And he had a medium who was working with him, and in this seance room he invited only his close personal friends. And by I mean close personal friends, he meant other scientists and people of renown for Winnipeg, including Isaac Pitt Blado, who founded the Manitoba Law Society, Bruce Chown, whose name adorns some medical buildings here in Winnipeg, and other people who are, very well respected individuals in Winnipeg. And during some of these seances, the medium, in the dark, while everybody was holding hands, would say, I feel a spirit coming through, take the photo now. And the idea was that a spirit would appear. So the medium would say, take the photo, he would trigger the mechanism, cameras would go off, and when the plates were developed, glass plates, this is technology at the time, the medium's face would be there, and she would have ectoplasm covering her in the dark while everybody was holding hands. They had table tipping, they had all the stuff that is right, and some of what they were done has been duplicated or sort of they riffed on it in some movies that were popular fairly recently. So he did this for quite some time. The collection is at the University of Manitoba Archives. They actually have the original glass plates and things like that for anyone to look at. Hamilton's daughter, Margaret Hamilton Bach, witnessed some of this herself. Now, when Roy Bauer and I were into this, we got to know Mrs. Bach. She wrote a couple of books about communicating with the dead, intention and survival. And we got to know her quite well. We went over to her place. She showed us some of the photos. And Roy especially was taken with her, and she was taken with Roy. She thought he was such a good scientist. She shared a lot of stuff with him. And so for a couple of years, he was going over there, every week, talking with her, learning more about what her father had done. But she was getting on in years, and she was well into her 80s, possibly her 90s by this time. And Roy had gone to see her one week, and that next morning, word had passed along to him that Mrs. Bach had died. And he was very broken up about this. He was just, his heart was sore. It just ached. but his habit had been to record every night, and he didn't want to stop for that night.
Right.
So he thought, well, I'll record something anyways. So he set up the Spiritcom and pushed record, and he was just thinking so hard about her that he was actually crying. When he played it back the next day, the first words he heard coming through on an unrecorded tape were her voice saying, "Don't cry, it's all right."
Wow.
And he played that for me, and it was unmistakably her voice on a blank tape that he recorded the night that she had passed away.
Wow.
Happened here in Winnipeg. Now, Roy got out of the paranormal business a number of years ago, retired from Naylor and wherever else he was working, and he got disillusioned and bored, got rid of everything.
Oh.
The tapes, the dice rolling machine, no record. He just, that was it. So there's no record of this, but I remember him playing that tape for me, and it was very, very clear.
That's cool. Wow.
He said, "Don't cry, it's all right." Yeah.
Interesting.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the paranormal story I have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you want to really quickly tell about Charlie Redstar?
Charlie
That's my favorite.
Redstar.
It's one of my
Charlie Redstar.
favorites.
In 1975, a lot of people in Manitoba were seeing UFOs, and then they were seeing this red light bobbing over the plains. And it was seen so often that they gave him a name, Charlie Redstar, because it was a red-colored light. And they said, "Oh, there goes Charlie again." And there were so many sightings in 1975 and 76 that during the summer, so many people, because it was on TV, there were, it was on radio, on TV, and newspaper stories. So many people came out to Carnman from Manitoba that there were traffic jams on the farm roads. And people were driving with their lights off in the middle of the night,
Yikes.
trying to catch Charlie as he whizzed across the plains. And it's surprising nobody got killed. But hundreds and hundreds of reports during that period.
Interesting. And that's Carman area, right?
Carnman, Manitoba.
And how many years was that?
It lasted, well, people say that to this day, you can still see Charlie zipping along.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we should start.
Yeah, we have about 5 minutes left. Is there any last minute stories that anybody want to come up? Krista, you wanna come
Krista.
up?
Oh, she's
Come on
going to
up.
come in. Oh, she convinced her. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's fine. It's good. It's good. You take your time.
I'll try to cut it.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, I thought I would just come up here really quick. I don't know if there's enough time to really tell this full story, but I'll kind of just go over the gist of it, I guess. And I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity, seeing as we have a ufologist here. So the reason why I was actually asking about if you'd ever encountered anyone who had, or if you ever investigated somebody who had, there's multiple people involved in some sort of an abduction type scenario, is because I actually had a situation like that with my family, and there were 6 people who were involved. And this is about when I was 9 years old, and it was back in about 1997. We were traveling in North Dakota, and we were around the Medora area. We were camping out there, and we were actually just coming back from like a week-long camping vacation out there. We were doing lots of hiking and different stuff, and I was with my stepmom and my dad. My dad was a mechanic. My stepmom was a doctor, and so we were coming back, and we knew it was going to take several hours to come back to Winnipeg, but we left, maybe it was around 5 o'clock p.m., to head out on the road to come back to Winnipeg, when all of a sudden, maybe an hour into our travel, everyone, all of us, like me and my brother, my 2 stepsisters, and my dad and my stepmom, we all became very tired. Like, it was unbearably tired. We had to pull over, all of us. And it was like, we knew we had to come back the day. We all slept. We were ready we were prepared to travel back. But we were very tired. So we had to pull over, and we couldn't even, like, find a hotel or something. We just had to pull over in some random place. It was strange. We ended up at a grain mill on the side of the road, and we're like, we just all need to take a nap now. And we just pulled over and fell asleep basically in our chairs. Like, not in our chair, like our seats. So there was a station wagon, and there was a truck with a camper trailer on it. And my brother went into the back in the camper trailer. My stepsister slept in the station wagon. And my mom, my stepmom, and my dad slept in the front of the truck. And we just kind of just passed out where we were. And then we didn't wake up until the next morning. So we fell asleep maybe around 5 p.m. and we didn't wake up until the next morning. But then some of us woke up with some interesting dreams and woke up in interesting locations. So,
Like not in the station wagon.
well, we woke up where we were, fell asleep, but in different positions, and some of us were in opposite spots. So, some of us had dreams, like I said. So I had an interesting dream. My dad had an interesting dream. And I was so freaked out when I woke up, I went immediately to run over to him. And I was like, I had a dream. Did you have any kind of a dream? Because this is strange, right? Like, this is weird. I was like, did you have some kind of a dream? Because I was like, I had a very interesting dream. I said, if you had a dream, like, what was it? And he said, I had a dream and you were in it. And I said, I had a dream and you were in it. I said, what happened to you in your dream? And he's like, well, in your dream, in my dream, like, you were in it and you were being taken away. And he said, well, that's the exact same thing. I saw you being taken away. And he wasn't happy about it. He was fighting. And all I can remember is that I was walked away. I was holding hands with somebody. I don't know who they were. There was very nice lighting. There was a lady of some kind. I was just walked away. And that's all I remember. But my dad has a lot more recollection than I do. And so he remembered actually being taken to something that looked like he would say it looked like an underground, more military facilities, how he kind of described it. And he remembered he had his camera because we were traveling around, we were hiking. He remembered that he had a camera in his pocket. So he immediately was like, where is this place? What is happening? He pulled out his camera, he started taking all these pictures, but he was caught. Oh. And they're like, you cannot be taking pictures where you have to confiscate this. And he got really upset, and he said he was like, he's not a very emotional person, but he got really emotional and was like, no, you cannot take these camera. It was like one of those Polaroid cameras, you have to develop the pictures. He's like, my daughter has all these pictures on it. She was so happy, we were out camping. There's pictures of her holding this little chipmunk. And she was so happy to get these pictures, you can't take them, please. They're like, no, we have to erase them. So that was kind of the end of that. That's pretty much more or less what he remembers. And, he saw some different people. That's a whole other story. But, so that's what he was telling me. So we went back home after all this. We traveled back home. And we went and got these pictures developed. And all of the pictures were just black. None of them had anything on them, except for the 2 pictures of me holding the chipmunks. It was kind of funny. But the story is kind of also interesting because my stepmom was really into taking pictures. So the whole trip, she was taking all of these pictures, tons and tons and tons of pictures. And when we developed them later, we didn't see anything when we were there. But later on, there was all of these like little crafts that looked like up in the air, and we were kind of just going off beaten paths. We weren't going to really popular areas. Just out in random fields, we would go and hike around into these cave areas and stuff. And so anyways, there was a whole bunch of these craft looking type things popping up in all of these pictures. And she made a whole photo book of this. There was so many pictures. So anyway, so we had all these pictures, and we were all looking at this after, like, did anybody see any of this? We're like, no, we didn't see any of this. Like, what are all these? And we had those. So a few months later, the entire photo book just disappeared. It just disappeared. And wouldn't that be something if we still had to this day to be able to look at that, but we don't. It just, poof. And when we came back home, there was all of this weird paranormal stuff happening at the house. It looked like, well, there was already some kind of situation with Mr. Mizak. There was a fellow who lived there and passed away in the house that we had bought. And it was like he had torn parts of the house apart, like the bedding off. So that's what we arrived to when we came back home, but that's a whole other ghost paranormal story. But I'm just telling you about this.
No worries.
This whatever that experience was, because I don't know what it was, but it was just interesting that there were so many people involved, and everyone just became suddenly tired, and we just there was no carrying on with the ride. We had to pull over and go to sleep, and it was just interesting that like our dreams lined up and with the pictures, and it was just strange, very strange. Very short
Well,
of that.
well, thank you for sharing that. That was great.
So much.
I know you can boost that audio later. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But thank you for. I don't know how to explain that. I haven't heard a story exactly like that at all.
Well, it's interesting to mention too. My stepmom was ex-military, and she went to become a psychologist after she has multiple degrees, doctorates. And so it's interesting that it happened to somebody who is like such a scientifically minded person as well too, and who has like so many degrees and stuff. And
Very credible.
even she didn't even know what to make of all of it. She was just like beside herself.
Yeah.
So I just thought
Look, thank you.
Thank you, Krista. So we've approached 9 o'clock by a bit, I think. Yeah, no, we're right on time. So we're going to conclude. We're going to do a draw. Nobody really wore a Halloween costume with the exception of, two. There's two. Well, they don't count.
That's family.
Yeah, sorry. I give them enough. It's fine. So we've got two then. Two costumes. So what do we want to do?
Up to you.
Okay, so we got a little something for each person that wore a costume. But we'll do a draw for a prize that we have over here. So Chris, we're going to get you to draw for us.
Oh, okay.
Before she grabs them, does everybody have their name in the draw for tonight? All right, come on up quickly. Come on, do it. Throw your names in the draw.
I think now's a good time as any. If anybody ever wants to email us their ghost stories and talk to me and my partner Cher, certainly give us an email at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com. You gotta have the podcast in there because Giving Up the Ghost belongs to somebody else and they're not very nice.
And if you guys ever need any paranormal help or you're interested in any of our events, Kelly and I would love to have you guys out. Right now our 2025 events are fully sold out, but we do have events coming up hopefully in 2026, so keep an eye out for those. But you guys can follow us on Facebook, website, or just email us wpgparanormal@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. And like I said, if you guys need help, email us, and we can come out and see what we can find at your home if you're having activity.
Excellent, thank you. And I think everybody's got their name in now, so we'll get Chris to draw.
Chris.
You're not done yet.
Chris. The lucky winner is... Ed. Yes, Ed. Come on up and get your prize. It's just a little red bag on the table there.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that came out. We greatly appreciate the support. We'd like to thank the King's Head Pub for having us out again.
Yes.
We will be doing this at the end of November. I don't remember the date off the top of my head.
That's why we have phones.
Yeah. And we won't be doing this December, just the way it lines up. It's kind of funny, so.
November 26th, we'll be back.
Yes.
We don't have a guest lined up yet, but we will have
We'll figure it out, watch the Facebook pages and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd like to thank Ashley and Kelly. I'd like to thank Chris. And can I do my exit?
And a big thank you to After Dark Design.
Oh, yes.
For coming out and being our
Thank you,
vendor.
After Dark.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what we do at the end of every podcast episode, remember to live every day like it is your last.
And never give up the ghost.
And never give up the ghost. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Drive safe.